Hello, babies. Welcome to Earth. It's hot in the summer and cold in the winter. It's round and wet and crowded. On the outside, babies, you've got hundreds of years here. There's only one rule I know of, babies. God damn it, you've got to be kind. That's a curve on it. Good morning. My name is Greg Klein. I'm your worship associate for today. Good morning. Our theme is kindness, if you haven't gotten that thus far in our various sermons. But when I look at this congregation, I really do see kindness in action. I see people that are more than willing to act on behalf of others, to volunteer. But why do we feel that need? What is it about us that drives us to do that? Having been with Angela so long, I've decided that the scientific approach is probably the best way of answering the question. So several studies have tried to explain this. They've tried to explain what it is that make us do what we do. What is this act of kindness? There are 5 conclusions that across these studies I've come to. One is kindness makes us happier. On a biochemical level, it's believed that a good feeling we get is due to elevated levels of a brain's natural version of morphine and heroin, which is known as endogenous opioids. Now, these cause elevated levels of dopamine, so we get a natural high. So really, when people say, you must be high because you're doing this for somebody, they may be right. Kindness gives us healthier hearts. Acts of kindness are often accompanied by a warmth, which produces the hormone oxytocin. It's in the brain throughout the body. Kindness slows aging, links to activities of the vagus nerve, regulating the heart, also controls inflammation levels in the body. Kindness makes better relationships, because kindness reduces the emotional distance between two people. We feel more bonded. It's something so strong that it's actually genetic. We are wired for kindness. Kindness is contagious. When you're inspiring others to be kind, studies show that it actually creates a ripple effect. Just as a pebble creates waves when it's dropped in a pond, acts of kindness ripple outwards, touching others' lives and inspiring kindness everywhere the wind goes. Tapestry is a liberal, progressive congregation. We're open to those who share our value of free thought, lifelong learning. We welcome you regardless of race, creed, age, economic status, physical ability, gender expression, or sexual orientation. These are some of the categories we've divided rather than united, people of faith. We do not require you to believe the same as we do. Indeed, you will find many different paths. Welcome to Tapestry, the Unitarian Universalist congregation. Now, our minister, Reverend Kent Doss, is not going to be in the pulpit. He's going to be back in September. But today we have the privilege of welcoming Erin Gardner. She's from our Orange County Trauma Intervention Program, or TIP for short. Erin is Community Relations Manager for TIP, in addition to her responsibilities of fundraising, attracting corporate sponsorships, managing social media. She's instrumental in also organizing what we have is called a Hero with a Heart campaign, which recognizes volunteers or recognizes first responders who've done particularly good jobs. For fun, Erin likes outdoors, exercising, reading, cooking, wine tasting, watching movies, going to concerts, and of course, helping others. It's always great seeing everybody connecting with each other, and we always can continue that outside after the service as well. We are a busy congregation, lots and lots of activities. There's all kinds of information in your order of service. We also have this wonderful Tapestry app that you can download as well. I do know that Laura wanted to talk to us just briefly about camp.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura, and and we have an upcoming retreat. It's with our congregation, Orange Coast, and Laguna Beach, and the Lappers of Laguna Beach. I'm mentioning it today behind here because today is the last day you can get $10 off. There's still room. We've got several families signed up, and it's going to be great. So if you have any questions, see me after the service. And what else? There's also the opportunity for scholarships. If you either can't go and you want to help someone else go, let me know or let Teresa know. And if you would like to go but it's not possible without some help, please see me and we'll work something out. We're going to have activities all weekend from Friday afternoon all the way through Sunday afternoon, and get to enjoy being up at our beautiful retreat in the mountains. So, see some of you there.
And in addition to that, today happens to be birthday Sunday. So, parents who have birthdays in September, October, August, whatever this month you're currently in, yes, you have a birthday there. All right, happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lucas. Happy birthday to you. And as always, our various groups reflect the vision of being a transformational home of liberal spirituality and a dynamic community leader in Orange County, India. So I'm going to ask Celia Young to please guide our chalice, the central symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. Our flame is a symbol of transcendence, triumph over the forces of superstition and fear. Our circle proclaims that the earth and all its inhabitants are one, and from the common container of this chalice, we share the warmth and welcome of our beloved community. Today's joys and sorrows include one from the Gardners, prayers for the family of our friend Erin, who died on Friday. Penny and Dave Kinnear, please hold healing thoughts for our friend Richard, who may be battling a rare liver disease. Everyday sorrows and celebrations are experienced in the life of our community and beyond. Please join me in the congregational response. For your joys, we join you in celebration. For your sorrows and concerns, may you feel our compassion. For all that is spoken and unspoken, may the caring of our beloved community sustain you. And now it's time for all ages. Anybody young at heart, anybody that wants to come sit on the front and hear a really good story.
Really a human race. When I was watching the marathon this morning, that was a race. Is there really a human race? Is it going on now all over the place? When did it start? Who said ready, set, go? Did it start on my birthday? I really must know. And the pictures are great in this book, so if you can't see this one, they are up on the board. Do I warm up and stretch? Do I practice and train? Do I get my own coach? Do I get my own lane? Do I race in the snow? Do I race in a twister? Am I racing my friends? Am I racing my sister? If the race is a relay, is my dad on my team? And his dad and his dad? You know what I mean? Is the race like a loop or an obstacle course? Am I a jockey or am I a horse? Is there pushing and shoving to get to the lead? If the race is unfair, will I succeed? Do some of us win? Do some of us lose? Is winning or losing something I choose? Why am I racing? What am I winning? Does all of my running keep the world spinning? If I get off track when I take the wrong turn, do I make my way back from mistakes? Do I learn? Is it a sprint, a dash to the end? Am I aware of the time that I spend? And why do I do it? This zillion-yard dash. If we don't help each other, we're all going to crash. Sometimes it's better not to go fast. There are beautiful sights to be seen when you're last. Shouldn't it be that you just try your best, and that's more important than beating the rest? Shouldn't it be looking back at the end that you judge your own race by the help that you lend? So take what's inside you and make big, bold choices. And for those who can't speak for themselves, use bold voices. And make friends and love well. Bring art to this place and make the world better for the whole human race. And that is our story this morning.
Now, in the spirit of cooperation, I'm going to ask you to join me in a participatory reading. I'm going to be reading the words in
I'm up until I don't project. Thank you so much for letting me come here today. Thank you to the choir for singing that and the club's now. I hope it's not unkind to show a quick video. It's kind of intense, but it kind of gives you maybe a better idea of what TIP is all about.
Yeah, my daughter, she's not moving and she's really cold. She's really blue.
Okay, how's your daughter?
She's 4 months old today. Oh my goodness.
Ma'am. I'm going to get you over to CDS so they can give you CPR instructions, okay?
Okay.
Arrivals only.
He's going out. Okay, how old is he? Tristan.
Okay, they're on their way.
He's leaking a lot of blood.
Okay, they're on their way, okay?
Okay.
All right, bye.
Don! Wake up! Don! Wake up, Don!
I want emergency.
If you want to go on M Street, my husband's dying. Hurry, please.
Okay, what's going on?
My husband is dying.
911, what's the address emergency?
There's a fire on 1250 State Route 50. Come on, please.
1250?
1250 State Route 50.
Is everybody out of the house?
No! We're stuck in the house.
Where are you outside the house?
Me and my little brother are in the bathroom.
Ma'am?
Yes, please hurry.
Trauma intervention, this is Sharon. Trauma intervention, this is Linda.
Trauma intervention, Dwight speaking.
They're dead. I was there for a grieving spouse when her husband died.
I was there for a school. when a student died.
I was there when a mother kissed her son goodbye for the last time.
I was there for a citizen in crisis.
I was there when no one else was.
Thank you so much for coming here today. Sorry, I'm not usually this emotional, but this video always gets me. And I have to say, public speaking is always a little tricky, but it's so nice to do it in a safe place like this with kind faces. When Greg first approached me, it was when I first started with TIC as a volunteer, and he said it was going to be the theme of kindness, and that would be a perfect fit, and it really is. For me, so TIP, our motto is citizens helping citizens in crisis. And I just think it's the truest example of kindness. It's doing something. It's so hard to properly attribute quotes these days. I think on the internet you see something that says that Abraham Lincoln said it, and it was not at all. So I don't know who says it, but to kind of paraphrase, I like the idea of doing something for someone who can never pay you back. But that's the ultimate kindness, and that's really what TIP is. You know, we go into this really terrible situation at someone's worst day, their darkest hour, and they have literally no way of ever paying you back. And I just think that's beautiful enough by itself. But then also, as Greg was talking about that ripple effect, I think what it produces is someone wanting so badly to repay that kindness, and since they can't find us and pay it back to us, I think they have to pay it forward. And so then you see this amazing action of, well, then they're going to do something for someone else that you can never pay them back, and hopefully so forth and so on. So really, the kindness is just, I mean, there's possibly no end to it as it just ripples outward. TIP, so TIP is, like I said, citizens helping citizens in crisis. So I just mean citizens of Earth. We just go out and we help who's in need. So the way it works is that first responders would arrive on the scene of, say, a fire or a car accident, or maybe it's someone arriving in a hospital, cardiac arrest. And so police, fire, EMTs, a nurse, a doctor will call for TIP. So they'll call their dispatch, and their dispatch will call our dispatchers, and they will send one of us to the scene to then provide what our goal is to provide emotional first aid to these survivors of tragedy, while the first responders are providing the life-saving first aid. So TIP was founded in 1985, actually. TIP National, so about 31 years, a little over 31 years now, by Wayne Fortin. And so it came about because he's a licensed mental health professional, and he saw a need. He worked specifically with survivors of trauma and tragedy, and saw that there was such a need and for so many more people to be reached. And he just had this amazing idea of this program, using volunteers, and being able to reach so many people so easily. So Orange County, TIP Orange County chapter that I'm a part of was founded 10 years later in 1995, so we've been around for a little while. And we have right around 100 volunteers. We usually keep right on that number, but we're always looking for more. And what we do is just provide that emotional first aid and practical assistance to people. And one thing that we're very proud of is that we have a 100% response rate. So we're available 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. which is really impressive. I've never heard of any organization being available around the clock, no matter what, whether it's Christmas Eve or Easter, or any holiday or any time that's inconvenient. We also have a 20-minute or less response time, which is really key, because in that window of time is when you really need to reach people, when the healing can start, and that's really key and a testament to Wayne's vision and just the way that he created this organization, which I'm really impressed by. I've been a part of other nonprofits, either as staff or volunteer, and I've never been a part of one that's so professional, and it's run so precisely, and it's like 99% volunteers, and there's only a couple of us staff. So it's incredibly impressive, especially volunteers that have been with it for a lot longer. I'm fairly new. I started in March, so there's people who've been a part of it for like 10, 13, I think 15 years even. It's really impressive. So TIP is, even though we've been around for so long, TIP is really, for some reason, still a hidden gem. We're still kind of the best kept secret in Orange County. And part of why I'm on board is to really kind of change that. I want people to know about TIP. Because TIP is there in our communities. TIP is here in your community. They're going out into homes and into a hospital and helping your neighbors. And I think that's because as TIP volunteers, we don't go on calls that ever make the news. They're not seen as newsworthy because they're not big and flashy like Red Cross kind of disasters. It's things that to these survivors, it's no less tragic, but things like waking up and your spouse doesn't wake up next to you. Things like that for this person, that is a national tragedy, but it doesn't get the coverage that some of these other things do. So we're there for them during the worst day of their lives, regardless of whether or not the news thinks it is. Some of the things we assist people with, although it's not always related to death, a lot of times there's a death in that, but it's any time people are facing tragedy, anytime people are traumatized. So things like the death in a home, we unfortunately are at the scene of a lot of suicides. Before TIP, I don't really think I ever knew how many suicides there are in Orange County and just in general. Car accidents, house fires. Just again, we kind of unofficially, our motto when we're talking to first responders, when trying to remind them to utilize us, is that no call is too small. So not to think in terms of big disasters or a series of fatalities, but just anytime you see someone who's maybe struggling, we would love to come and be there. And best case scenario, they don't need us, but again, we want to show up and just see if we're moving. So the way that you can get involved to become a volunteer is by first signing up for the training academy. So we have this very thorough, very exhaustive training academy. It's one of the things I was really impressed by. I've never seen such a giant training manual that just really went into depth, and you, at the end, you really feel prepared. You maybe go into it not knowing necessarily if you can do this. I think that's how I felt, definitely. But the way that it's set up, the way that the material is ever changing and ever being updated, you really are prepared at the end of the training academy to go out and to be a TIP volunteer and to help these people. So it's about 55 hours of training, and it's spread out over the course of 2 weeks. I think it's like 10 days maybe. So some evenings and some weekends. So if you're working during the day, you can still go to this. And it really delves into things that you might like to avoid in life, talking about death, talking about grief, talks about emotional first aid. And it really, I think one of the first things we learned was that this is kind of teaching you maybe ignore your first instincts, which I know I went into it thinking, I have great first instincts, and I know exactly what I would do, and I know how to help. And then you learn that there's a lot of things that well-meaning people say and do that ends up actually furthering the trauma. That things that, old platitudes and kind of what we think are kind remarks So we learned a lot of those, we do a lot of role playing, and I know I was really surprised by how many terrible sounding things people say when they think they're trying to help, because no one means to be unkind, I don't think, but, so we did a lot of role playing, a lot of exercises to prepare us for that. And once you hear it spoken, you realize, oh, that's terrible, and I would never ever say that again. So it's very good, just I think life skills, regardless. I think it helps me be a better person now. I think I'm better at being there for the people I love when they need me, and making sure to say the right things. We also learn just saying nothing at all is sometimes the very best. Just that's kind of what we talk about, just the art of being there. We're just there. Sometimes on a call, that's all I'll really do is kind of just try to blend into the background, and maybe I'm offering tissues and unscrewing the caps on water bottles. Sometimes it's something seemingly simple for us, like stepping outside to help calm mortuaries, but at that moment, when your loved one has just died, calling mortuaries, that's like climbing Everest. So we offer that kind of practical help, just whatever we can do to help them in that moment, and also to help them kind of start that healing process right away, and be able to kind of get back into their routine as soon as possible. And that's another thing I love about TIP is that it provides a service for these people, but I think it really helps to bolster the community as well. You're going in there and you're helping people start to heal, which means that they can avoid that second trauma. They can return to their routine faster. I think it just strengthens all of us. Everyone becomes they're able to heal faster, and when you have a community full of emotionally well and able-bodied people getting back into their routine, I think I see it as really a safety net for all of us. And I love that it's out there. And I didn't know about it before I got involved. I never heard of it. I think because unless you unfortunately had a TIP volunteer come to the scene of your tragedy, or if you're in the line of work as first responders or in a hospital, you probably don't know about us. So I would like to spread the word. I want people to know about TIP, and I'm excited about TIP, and to join in and become a TIP volunteer. I think part of what I really love about TIP and think would really appeal to your congregation here is just we all have that. I know I can speak for all of you here. You have that deep-rooted desire, and it's part of your doctrine here, is to do good in the world and to help others. I know that when I heard about TIP, it came around. I love when life works out that way. It was kind of just the right moment at the right time, and we all have that desire to do good, and we want to help, and we want to just hug the world, and we want to like help every person and magically make everything better. And then at least for me, that momentum starts to dissipate when I realize, well, I don't know how to do it. I want to help everybody, but I don't know how to do it, and it kind of goes stagnant, and that's really tragic. So for me, I see TIP as it kind of just presented itself as a way for me to help, rather than trying to scour my brain and try to dream up my own ways of helping people. It kind of just came across as here's that outlet for me to again do a true kindness to a stranger who can't ever help me, and is now forced to pay it forward and help others and create that ripple. And that's what I really love about it, is that I'm able to go into these people's, we call it jumping in the pit. So the terminology is still new, but when you learn about just grieving with these people and jumping into that pit of despair rather than trying to pull them out. So that was very new for me, learning this way of being there in the thick of it with these people. And that's what I really love. I love that I'm able to be there for someone, and in a way that I maybe wouldn't have before thought was really that powerful. Just being there, kind of seemingly empty, or not enough. And so what we learn is that's exactly right. It's exactly what you're supposed to do, is just be there, kind of silent and still, and just be a support. And I'm always surprised by how many people are really welcoming and accepting of me. I'm a stranger, they don't know me, they're in the middle of their worst day or night, and I'm intruding on that, and yet they welcome me, they allow me to sit there next to them, or stand there, or maybe fall on the ground with them, whatever it is that they're experiencing, and they let me into that very private grief, which I think is just really amazing. I mean, it's extremely kind of them to allow me to be there for them. And then afterwards, when the call is over, I'm always surprised still by how many people have the wherewithal to walk me to the door, or shake my hand, or hug me and say thank you, where I'm not sure I would know my own name at that point, but they're so grateful. And especially when we say, oh, we're here as a volunteer, we're here to be with you. I think when people hear a volunteer is there to be with them, they're kind of even more vulnerable, that we're not, they think we're paid staff, or that we're part of law enforcement or something. We say, no, we're just volunteers, we're just here for you. And I think that makes it even more meaningful. These are just everyday people. They're dropping everything. And I mean, really, we get the call, we drop it, we go. So you drop everything to go and be with a stranger just because you want to help. And I think about times when I could have used that, or a friend could have used it, or a family member. And I think that's what drew me to the mission was, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I wish it had been something I knew about for so-and-so for me. So now I'm very passionate about making sure people know about it. And I want it to be everywhere. I want it to be something that everyone has the chance to use, and so it helps them start to do it faster, because that's really key, especially that 20-minute window, which I know we're very proud of as tippers, and people are always within the bounds of safe travel, are always trying to get there faster and faster, so while still abiding by the laws of speed. But it's a really impressive organization. The amount of dedication that these people show, the fact that it's run the way it is, so just completely powered by volunteers, really. And again, there's not many of us that are staff, so it's very impressive. Okay. And then, so I was born in 1979. So anyway, I just thanks so much for, again, an act of kindness, letting me come in here and intrude upon your Sunday routine and talk to you about TIP. And I'd love to see some of you at the next training academy, which we have. Not very. On the back, I have some literature about the next training academy. It's going to be September 22nd. It's a Thursday. There's other ways to get involved. I don't know if we have the website up there, but it's tiporangecounty.org, TIP, Orange County, I'll spell out. And again, thanks so much, and thanks for your time.
Might have gathered, I am a TIP volunteer as well. And actually I was on a call from 11 till 3 a.m. this morning with a family that had a death in the hospital. So, that being said, it's time for sharing our gifts. Please note that next Sunday is a Share the Plate Sunday, so bring the checkbook. And in the spirit of tapestry making a difference in our world, will the ushers come forward and receive the offering. knowing the light remains in the warmth and compassion of our hearts until we're together. Go in peace, live simply, at home in yourself. Be just in your world, just indeed. Remember the depth of your own compassion. Do not forget your power and the days of your powerlessness. Crave peace for all people in this world, beginning with yourselves. And go as you go with the dream of that peace set firm in your heart. Shalom, salam.